not
Screw
gonna
them!
happen. I'll say it again. I don't care what Runmei said to you.
Runmei!
There's no chance we're shutting down the simulated universe.
True, don't shut it down. For the first time in my life, Herta, I stand with you. You are right and real.
Herta, I've made my decision.
Screw them, don't make me dislike you. Sim Universe is the only fucking fun part of this game. If you shut it down, I'm quitting. Should we make a fucking Relic set tier list? I'm fucking down. Relic set, tier list, tier maker, star rail. Okay, by the way, this is not how, like, important they are for a general account or anything like that. It's how much they offer. Like, in a vacuum, how good the set itself is. So, if a set that is good but doesn't have good users right now, like, a set like that I would rank high, not low. Alright, let's start with Band of Sizzling Thunder. 2-piece, increase lightning damage by 10%. 4-piece, when the wearer uses a skill, increase the wearer's attack by 20% for 1 turn. This is okay. It's an alright set. It gives you a bunch of stats. It's not the highest amount of stats that you can get out of a set though, and it is conditional. So all in all, it's definitely not the best one, but it's also not bad. Next up, Champion of Streetwise Boxing. Increase physical damage by 10%. After the wearer attacks or is hit, their attack increases by 5% for the rest of battle. This effect can stack up to 5 times. I'm going to put this set in C. Mainly because, in my opinion, the biggest issue with it is that it is going to make your first wave clear slower. Right? On the first wave, on your first turn, on your first attack, you don't have anything from your 4-piece. Which can be kind of sus when you need to be able to one-cycle the first wave so that you don't lose cycles on a wave that's only made of shitters. Maybe I could put it in B. I'll think about it once we get to the later ones. Eagle of Twilight Lane. Increase wind damage by 10%. After the wearer uses ultimate, their action is advanced forward by 25%. This goes in WoW. This set is fucking broken. It's just way too good. Because we don't have sets that are like that insane when it comes to like buffing team, right? We don't have the greatest support sets. And do we even have any of them? I don't think so, right? I guess to some extent, Wuthering Snow, sure. And I guess Musketeer gives you a little bit of speed. But the main reason why this set is so good is because it can help you get to cycle breakpoints when you need to. On characters that can ult often, like Pilla, for example, with the new light cone, this is the equivalent of basically like 20 speed from the 4-piece, right? Because if you have, usually you'd have to get through 20,000 gauge units every 2 turns. With Pilla, with the new light cone, you can ult every 2 turns by doing normal attacks, right? Let's say, I mean, with Pilla, with the fucking effect res buff, or effect res nerf to enemies that they did, you don't actually need that much effect hit rate anymore, which means that you can actually focus mainly on gaining as much speed as you want. You're gonna get speed boots, so realistically, you can get pretty easily the one like 134-ish breakpoint that most people talk about all the time, but honestly, you can get more than that. You can probably get 140 without too much of a problem, right? Let's say 140 speed for now. Well, at 140 speed, 2 turns would be 142 or action values. Or she'd have a turn every 71, right? With the set, It would be 60. It would be on average 62 instead. That is the equivalent of if you are at 140 speed, of exactly 20 speed. If you're at more speed, it's the equivalent of even more. Right? So if you start at 150, then at 170, it's more like 171 actually, 172 maybe, 171.5 or something, whatever. But basically, it's the equivalent of about 20 speed on a character like Pilla. Now, the more often you can ult, the more effective speed you get out of this. Which means that if you cannot ult fast, then obviously this ends up losing value. That being said, on win characters, and mainly win carries, this is actually really good. Like, this is a really good set on Dunhang. You get the equivalent of so much speed out of it. It's really, really nice. All in all, Eagle of Twilight Lane, good. Blade, I'm not sure if Blade's gonna generate enough energy for it to be good. Because his skill doesn't actually generate energy, I don't think. It's like QQ. Which means that he should only have... And I don't think his normal attack generates 30. I think it's his normal attack, like it's his enhanced normal attack. I think it only generates 20. So inherently, he's not gonna generate a lot of energy. So I don't know if he'll ult often enough for this to be all that great. We have to see the numbers first. They're releasing a fucking signature set for him, so like, probably. He does have a follow-up. That is true. That is true, you're right. Next up, we have Firesmith of Lava-Forging. Increase fire damage by 10%. Increase wearer's skill damage by 12%. After unleashing ultimate, increase the wearer's fire damage by 12% for the next attack. This will also go in the B tier. This is pretty good. It's just a nice amount of stats. It is conditional, but it is actually quite nice for like setting up a big hit with something like a Tingyun or a Bronia, where you get your big hit along with this, and you can take better advantage of your stat boosts. So overall, just pretty good. Genius of Brilliant Stars. Increase quantum damage by 10%. When the wearer deals damage to the target enemy, ignores 10% defense. If target enemy has quantum weakness, the wearer ignores an additional 10% defense. This goes in WoW. This is a broken set. This set is so good that if the enemy has quantum weakness, it can actually be competitive with the other sets on non-quantum characters. So you bet your ass that on quantum characters it's going to be very good. Guard of Wuthering Snow. Reduce damage taken by 5% at the beginning of the turn if the wearer's HP is equal to or less than 50% of their max HP. Restore HP equal to 8% of their max HP and regenerates 5 energy. Now that sucks. Reducing damage taken can be nice on characters that have high taunt, but usually characters that have high taunt build a lot of defense and scale with defense, and so would generally rather go for this set that not only increases their defense, but also, let's be real, most of them generate shields, and it significantly increases how much shielding they do. Right now, it's garbage. It might be good in the future if we have preservation units that consume their own HP, so that you can actually get below this threshold, and that really care about getting this additional energy. But for now, this ain't it, Chief. But even then, it doesn't offer you that much. Hunter of Glacial Forest. Increase ice damage by 10%. After wearer unleashes their ultimate, their crit damage is increased by 25% for 2 turns. This will go in A. It's good. But 25% crit damage is generally a little bit less useful than 25% attack from the physical set. However, the condition is a lot easier to fulfill, which is why I'm putting it higher. But it doesn't go in a WoW because the amount of stats is just not high enough to justify it. Knight of Purity Palace. Increase defense by 12%. Increases the max damage that can be absorbed by the shield created by the wearer by 20%. This goes in WoW. This is a very good set. It's actually just really fucking good. It's just a good fucking set. Musketeer of Wild Wheat. Attack increased by 10%, speed increased by 6%, and basic attack damage increased by 10%. The problem with this is that this fucking sucks. It is not very good, this part of it. But this part is very nice. And this part is generally useful. I will put it in A. It's 12% attack, not 10? Okay. It's pretty universal, it's nice to have, but it's all whatever really. Passerby of Wandering Cloud increases outgoing healing by 10%. At the beginning of battle, immediately recovers 1 skill point. This actually goes in A as well. This makes it a lot easier to reach the 1 cycle breakpoints on your first wave, because you can be more like lax, I guess, with your skill point usage. Overall, it's just pretty good. It's not insane though, right? But it's the only set that gives outgoing healing, and outgoing healing is kind of a useful stat to have. All in all, I think there is an argument to be made to put the healers on Twilight line instead, but it's not necessary. I think long term, my Natasha is going to be on Eagle of Twilight line with multiplication. It's gonna, that's my long term goal for Natasha. Just make her a fucking skill point machine. Build as much speed as I can. Get a bunch of VR. Get her the Von Wax set. What's multiplication? It's probably the most broken light code effect in the game for support characters, but it's a 3-star, so the stats on it kind of suck. After the wearer uses their basic attack, their next action will be advanced forward by 20%. That's a lot, man. It's the same HP as the 4-stars? Not quite. It's a little bit less. But also it's a lot less defense. Piproco would be pretty good on your win set Natasha as well. Fuck that. I'm going multiplication. Is that just 20% more turns? Yup! Yes it is. Okay, actually though... Doesn't her light cone give energy regen? Her light cone is multiplication. Suck my balls. Anyways, let's keep going. We have 2 left. Let's start with this one, I guess. Increase imaginary damage by 10% when attacking debuffed enemies. Crit rate increased by 10%. If the enemy is imprisoned, then the wearer crit damage is increased by 20%. I will put it in here. The biggest issue is that it's hard to reliably imprison enemies unless you're using Welt. But like, then you'd also need to be using Welt and another imaginary unit. Isn't it any debuff? The 10% is any debuff, but the 20% crit damage is only imprisoned. Alright, and then finally, Thief of Shooting Meteor. Increased break effect by... These numbers are wrong, I think. I'm not sure. Oh no, they're not. Okay. Increase break effect by 16%. Increase the wearer's break effect by 16%. When the wearer inflicts weakness break, regenerate 3 energy. Here's the thing about this, okay? This can be good. It can also be useless. The main issue with this set is that it doesn't do anything until you break. And it doesn't do anything if your turn order doesn't allow for you to break with the character that's wearing it. But if you do break with the character that's wearing it, and it's actually a good break, like a good break and not like freeze, because you, like, please don't use this on an ice character. It is actually pretty good. I think I'll put it in B. Who can use the break set? Serval. To some extent, Sushang, sometimes. To some extent, Natasha. To some extent, fucking Silverwolf.